Tom, how are you? I wanted to go to an origin story. People have been listening to the Cutting Edge Benefits podcast, hearing all the ways that companies can provide better benefits
Mhm.
for their employees and save money. And we've talked about all these different ways that you don't and on taxes, all these great ideas that you've had on the podcast, but we never talked about the origin story and diving deeper. So tell me about it, why you started ClaimLinx.
I had an insurance agency, and my wife worked for Anthem Blue Cross doing trends and statistic reports. And Ed Lyon, my friend and tax attorney, had a tax law that a lot of farmers were using called Section 105 for, small farmers hire, and I was like, wow, wouldn't that make sense on a small group, large group, whatever group, because of the math. The trends are not everyone uses their health insurance. In fact, very few people do. And because at that time the HIPAA laws came in, rates were soaring, and the insurance companies were becoming public, and so we were like, yeah, man, that makes a lot of sense. So we started the process that way, and we started it. We got a couple guinea pigs and said, okay, hey, we believe this will work tremendously to keep your costs down. And sure enough, it worked, and it has since, and it has in the future 100%. Who have 100% of the time they save money and improve benefits.
And I think that's the key thing that you figured out, and it was the math. But building the infrastructure, coming up with this mission and vision, and putting it together, you and your wife, who's the brainchild
Christy,
behind it?
well, Christy had the brains behind the administration, because we went out and tried to find what's called a third-party administration company to manage it, and literally they were laughing at us, along with Anthem Blue Cross was laughing at us, because she was like, why aren't we promoting ideas like this? And they didn't care for it. It upsets the no, everything's going smoothly. Why upset the apple cart is basically what their attitude was. I don't blame them. I got it. But the TPAs, so Christy literally quit her job and formed ClaimLinx.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And that was
TPA, yeah.
you just must have really felt that this was going to be something special when she did it, right?
I think we were both. She had enough working for the man, and she had enough faith in both Ed and I, and we made it work.
Right. And that's what is interesting, that this is not just a fly by night or they just pop up, especially when you start seeing health insurance go up a lot. You've seen these companies come and go, haven't you?
I've seen it all, but the one thing that I just can still not get is people are still trying to buy the health insurance the same way they were doing it 30 years ago. And you got the HIPAA laws, the Affordable Care Act, all these other things that came on, HRAs, HSAs, and there's no creativity, Zippo, whatsoever. And it's just, the system is just a good old boy network.
Do you see that we're going to see some changes even in the laws? Do you see certain things changing?
Not really. I see certain things that may go away, like enhanced subsidies, but I don't, it was just as easy to save people money prior to the Affordable Care Act as it is after. It's just the issue is, it's about improving benefits and cutting costs.
Right.
And that's where everyone is missed it over the years. Everyone is caught up in the this is the way it's been done for 30 years. We're not changing.
And that's the kind of problem when you're looking at numbers in healthcare, right? Let's look at the premium versus the deductible. The deductible becomes a scary thing, doesn't it? Isn't it? Become a, for certain people.
It's reality though. Everyone I meet has $4,000 or $5,000 deductibles, or three or five or six. It's just buzzwords. And I sit there and I go, do you even understand your health insurance? The answer is always no. Even the companies self-funding don't understand they understand what taking. I mean, it's like, well, do you understand the laws? Why are you paying all these claims that you don't have to pay?
And there's so many ways if you find the right affordable healthcare that's going to protect you and make sure you're safe and make sure you're not going to be paying, like go bankrupt if you get seriously sick. And then you work with the doctors because they look for cash pay sometimes. There's ways to negotiate, look at your all the ways with the other benefits. I just think I'm like, I wish I would have known this before because literally I was
Yeah.
paying 7 years ago for 750 to $800 with almost the same deductible as today. $700, $800 a month. It's ridiculous. You don't, because you look at, you get nervous, you want to lower that deductible, but then you're paying these premiums out and you really don't see the doctor that much to be investing that.
No one's. It's just like I always bring it up. It's all about the math, and it's not hard math either. It's basic, and it's that was our whole premise back then. Um, we had the newspapers, we wrote on national magazines, wrote the books, done all the stuff. Ed's been on the CNNs, the Foxes, and all the shows. But it boils down to one thing for an employer. Are you willing to change to increase the value of your company and improve the benefits for the employees, even though it may hurt people's feelings who were in charge prior, who you had to take over to do so? And that is what they have to come to a conclusion to. And I mean, if you ask the employees what their current benefits were, they couldn't explain them. But they could explain two things: what they comes out of their paycheck and how much they have to pay if they get a drug or go to the doctor.
And they look at these and we talk about the amount and you said it's going to keep increasing
Oh yeah.
unless and it's going to hurt the business and it's going to hurt the employee.
Unless employers wake up and figure out that, hey, we can do it differently, the insurance companies aren't going to change. The agents aren't going to change.
Because they got to make money.
They're getting paid by the insurance company to protect the scheme they have.
It's kind of like how people sell certain financial plans that really don't work at all for the bottom line.
Sometimes some people do a lot of things, but here's what I know: 2 + 2 = 4. 3 + 1 = 4. You're only being shown 2 + 2. Maybe you ought to be shown just 3 + 1. Granted, there's other ways to get to 4 that might blow your mind out, like 1 + 1 + 1 + 1, or 2 + 1 + 1. These are crazy things. But if you want to keep just two numbers, you still can save 20 or 30% on your health insurance by just using basic numbers.
Right. So basically, as you go into what year is this again for ClaimLinx?
This is our 23rd year in business under the name ClaimLinx, 22nd.
Wow. What do you think you learn most about having this business?
That you're running with thieves, and you don't have to be a thief, but you better think like one if you want to be ahead of them.
All right. So the best place to go is claimlinx.com. Appreciate it, Tom. And thanks again, sir. All right. That was a special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and the Cutting Edge Benefits Podcast.